This was actually a different way to open the film, and this shot was done by Trickster in Germany, and they were very proud of it. And it was mainly to show what's happening on the Saturn moon Rhea, which you see here, the moon in the foreground, and it goes over the moon, and it ends up on a moon base there, which is the moon base Rhea, which you see now, coming into frame. And I always loved that sequence, but it was more mysterious to not see it in a strange way, so we decided to lose that shot. And see, this is a little bit what it looks like when I shoot it. You know, you see like cables and you see like kind of blue screen.
Скачки в напряжении выбили предохранитель.
It's all Russians and they have these power surges and the whole thing is going broke. He kind of points to a window and see what we later see on a big computer screen. And it's very much like what you see later on the moon, only more gigantic. And we kind of thought it was a little bit repetitive. This was a scene which also was not necessary because at the very beginning, Bill Pullman went missing. And it was just like one of these scenes, just didn't make any sense anymore. But still some of the lines ended up in the movie. But I also see a little bit the kind of quality we see for the longest time. You know, this like kind of just slap comps, we call them. And they're naturally not that good. But I took 2 or 3 lines from that scene in the car and they worked much better in the bedroom scene, which we still have in the film. A little bit drawn out everything, and so we tried to speed it up.
I know I'm not at my best anymore. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to bother with all this.
It's not a bother, Dad.
You gave up flying to take care of me. I know how much you loved it.
Yeah. But I love you more. And it was my decision. I don't regret it.
We actually had in the original script exactly the scene until here, but then when we start editing, we said, oh, maybe we should do something else, and then decided, oh, maybe there could be some huge spike coming down and destroy the White House again. At the end, we just didn't want to do it because we felt it was just repeating ourselves, and so we left it how it originally was planned, with the White House spared. Now comes a scene which I really hated, that I had to lose it. But it just killed the mood in a way. But you can see a little bit how the hangar was shot, because there you see all the blue screen. And you know what you see in the background is what we call N-camera images, very rudimentary, simple forms. And it's just Charlie trying to get a date with the Chinese pilot. I think they were really both terrific, and I hated to lose it, but it was good that we lost it at the end.
Is that no to dinner, or no, you're not a vegetarian?
No, to everything.
It's happening.
Here's a moment which I always love because we dwell a little bit deeper in the characters, and Judd Hirsch talks to Sam, to Joey King, and just tries to morally boost her, and she tells him you would have been a great grandfather, because this was like kind of his motive in the whole film, that he missed being a grandfather, and at the end he got all these kids. And he does the God reference, which he did in the first one. But overall it felt like, and it was always a little bit a showstopper, so we just decided to cut it out. But it was greatly
I was
acted.
going to make it, but I knew I had to. For him.
What's your point?
You're going to have to do the same thing for your little brothers and sister. Listen, when it seems impossible, why don't you just ask for help from the big guy up there, huh? No, I mean, you'd be surprised by how much he listens.
We're all out! The pumps are dry! Clearly, he's taking the day off.
Yeah, well, something will come up. Now, why don't you let me drive, and you take a little break,
Okay. You know, you would have made a really good grandpa.
Okay, this scene I really hated to lose, but it actually had two problems. People asked themselves how can the President and Secretary of Defense Tanner got into the Queen's chamber? It was also there to explain how she could know that the sphere is there, but it was confusing, and we decided to cut it out, and actually really worked better cut out. I think Sela is really sad because she was really good at it, and Patrick Saint-Esprit was also very good in playing somebody possessed.
Shot it down. It crashed on the moon.
People also didn't like that the alien queen steps on her. See? It was like a little bit brutal, and then we decided to cut it out. So here's a scene which I also always liked, but just not necessary. Charlotte coming to David Levinson and saying one more time goodbye, but it was just felt a little bit contrived, and so we lost it.
Listen, for whatever it's worth, I regret that I didn't take the time to see what could have been.
Oh, I didn't know what to say.
That's a first.